Hey everyone, this is Wayne Wallace, and this is the My Marketing Hotline Coaching Call for Monday, April 20th. And I've already started the Google Hangout, and I am also in the conference call line if you'd like to dial in. The dial-in number is 605-562-0020. So if you'd rather dial in with your phone line, just pick up your phone and dial 605-562-0020. The PIN number, the meeting ID number, is 264-416-567. I'll go ahead and repeat that if you want to grab a pen. The meeting ID is 264-416-567. And if you need that in the future, you can go to mymarketinghotline.com and grab the number from there. Today we're going to be talking about Google and Google search, and how tomorrow your website may not come up in the search engines. So if you want to learn about that, either stay on this Hangout or call into the conference line. Look forward to chatting with y'all. Don't know how many people I'll get today. Sometimes I have none, sometimes I have many. So let's see how my social media marketing has done for this call today. Trying something new here. I'm doing Google Hangouts at the same time that I'm on the free conference call conference line on my headphones here. So I don't know if you can hear the music that I hear, but it's basically the hold music. So it's almost 4 o'clock, and I'm going to hit the record button here shortly on the conference call line. See if anybody comes in. It's a nice day in Las Vegas. I'm sitting here by the window. It's about 80-something degrees. Hardly any wind. Okay, almost time to go live here on the conference call. Okay, again, you are at the My Marketing Hotline Coaching Call for Monday, April 20th. And we're going to get started with it. I'm going to hit record. Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Wallace and welcome to the My Marketing Hotline Coaching Call for April 20th, 2015. Today we're going to be talking about Google and Google searches and why your website may not appear in the search results. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to bring up my notes here and just kind of give you a little bit of outline and structure about this call. I try and do these calls every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. I do record them, so if you want to listen to them later, then just let me know. These calls are meant to be interactive, so you can either get on Google Hangouts or you can call into the conference line and ask questions. At this time, we don't have anybody called in, so if you'd like to call in, please do so. You can get the number on my website at mymarketinghotline.com, and you can dial in. And you can ask questions just with your telephone, just with a regular old telephone. You don't need any fancy webinar cameras or anything like that. Looks like somebody's joining us here. Welcome to the call. Hello, welcome to the call. Okay, they hung up. All right. Well, anyway, these calls are meant to be interactive, so I'm going to try and get you to talk, and that's what it's meant to be. So if you don't want to talk, then don't say anything. I usually present an idea or a topic that has something to do with marketing your website, and hopefully it's something that you haven't thought about yet, and maybe you'll be doing that in the future like I am. Most of the ideas that I present are ideas that I'm working with right now on my website. So it's information that's possibly relevant to you. And I noticed someone joined the call. Would you like to say hello? Hi, how are you? Welcome to the call. Great, great. These calls are meant to be interactive, so if you'd like to ask a question at any time, just let me know. You're not muted, so if you want to mute yourself, you can do that on your telephone there. So during the first part of this call, I like to present some information that you can think about and maybe implement on your own website or whatever it is that we're talking about. So I try and hold these calls every Monday at 4 p.m. And like I said, they're interactive, so you can ask me any questions you'd like. And it can be about the topic that we're discussing, or it can be about some other topic as well. So where are you calling from today? Pennsylvania. All right. How's the weather out there? Yeah, that's great. Perfect time of year, right? Awesome. Okay, well, I don't know if you heard the subject matter today. We're going to be talking about Google and Google search and how your website may not be appearing in the search engines as of tomorrow. Google has been warning everybody, basically, webmasters in general, that websites may not be appearing in mobile search in after tomorrow. Tomorrow is the deadline, and if you get out your phone, which I don't have mine handy, but if you get out your phone and you do a search on your phone for any particular subject, the search results will say mobile friendly. If your website's mobile friendly, it'll have a little keyword right before your website description that says mobile friendly, and I may be able to show that later on. But if you don't see mobile friendly next to your website, then your website may not appear in the search engines, and I can tell you how to fix that. So here's two facts that you cannot deny. The first fact is Google is by far the leader in the search engines, and they're not going away, and everyone else tends to follow their lead. So you'll soon see other search engines doing what Google is doing, most likely. The other fact that you cannot deny is that smartphones and tablets and mobile devices, even the watch that Apple just came out with, are here to stay, and they're not going anywhere. And so the preferred method that people are using to get to your website, you don't really know. They may be using a computer, they may be using a smartphone, they may be using an iPad or some other kind of tablet, and pretty soon they're going to be talking to their watch and saying, find me the nearest pizza joint. So you can't guarantee what device they're going to be getting to you on. So that's why Google is kind of forcing everyone at this point to start shifting their websites to be mobile friendly. And basically mobile friendly just means that the website will reorganize itself and scale itself down to the point where it looks good on a phone, and the text font is big enough, and the pages scale down, and the images scale down, and it's very friendly. I've been talking about this for years now. I've been working on my website, various websites over the years, and trying to get them mobile ready. And I've got most of them ready. A few of them aren't ready, but I know what needs to be done. So if you look at PC sales, the desktop is becoming the least favorable product. If you look at sales of PCs compared to smartphones and mobile devices, it's clear the direction that we're going. And video is going to play a big part in that. And we'll talk about video on future calls. But these days, Google and other companies like Samsung and Apple, they're making it very easy for you to find things just by talking to your device. And I may set off some devices here, but we'll try it out. If you say, "Okay, Google," Google is going to wake up and listen, and it's going to search for whatever you want to find in your search, and it usually does it faster than you can type it out on the keyboard. So if you haven't tried that yet, just say "Okay, Google" when you bring up the web browser, Chrome specifically. On iPhone, you can say you can use Siri. You can say, "Hello, Siri, find me the nearest pizza joint," and they'll do that. On my Samsung TV, I can also ask my TV to find me things. So even the days of typing are pretty much over. So you need to get your website to the point where the search engines are going to find it and make it mobile ready. So let me look at my notes here and see what our next thing is here. So I talked about Google. Yeah, as of tomorrow, basically Google will be penalizing your website if it's not mobile friendly, which means it's going to go lower in the search results, and it's less likely that it's going to be found on a mobile device. Now, it may still be found on a desktop device, but no one really knows if that's going to be that way in the future, because it's hard for them to determine which device people are going to be searching on. So they may just want to say, it needs to be mobile friendly, period, to even show in our index. So they haven't gone that far yet, but they may. So the point is, find a good web guy. If you need help with that, let me know. Okay, so a responsive website is basically a website that adjusts itself. Like I said, there are three basic formats that you need to worry about at this point. You need to worry about the desktop format, you need to worry about the tablet format, and the phone format. And there's various sizes in each of those formats, but basically you can say, if it's about the size of a desktop screen size, then it's probably either a computer or a TV or something like that. And you need to design it in such a way that it looks good on a website of or a page of that size. And then the same thing is true for a tablet and a phone. You need to design your website in such a way that it's going to be usable on that device, and that it looks good and people can find what they're looking for. So do you have any questions about what I've been talking about so far? Exactly, yes. You don't have to do anything to Google and tell Google. Google will know if you've changed your website. Basically, what you need to do is you need to start a new website that has a responsive HTML theme. And basically, whoever designed that theme, say it's a WordPress website, whoever designed that theme designed it with all this in mind, because these standards have been out for several years now, and just people have been too lazy or whatever, and they haven't changed their website over, but they needed to. Well, now Google is just saying you must do it if you want to appear in our search engine. So the best way for you to do this is to start with a new theme that you either purchase or someone develops for you, and then put all of your old website content into that new theme. Make sense? Ye- okay, so you're on WordPress right now? Okay. Okay, yeah, WordPress is very simple. I've never actually used Weebly before, but I hear it's pretty simple as well. Um, there's tons and tons of websites out there with themes, and you can go browsing around those websites. There's even a lot of themes built in to the WordPress platform that if you go to customize, you should be able to choose a theme that's responsive. Just look for the keyword responsive. Okay, if you see that it's responsive, then most likely you'll be okay. What I would do is start a new website with that template, get it online, and put some, some basic content in it just so it has something in it. And then there's a test link that you can, if you go to Google and you just do a search for, what is it, mobile friendly test. If you type those keywords into Google, most likely the first link will be their test page. And what you do is you put your link of your website right into their test page, and it'll analyze your website and it'll come back and say, yes, this is mobile friendly, or no, it's not mobile friendly. And then they'll give you a bunch of information about it. So that's the best way to do it, is just run a test on your current website and see if it works. If it doesn't, you need to redesign your website with a new theme that is responsive and mobile friendly. Okay. And if you need, yeah, if you need any help, just let me know. You can always email me questions at mymarketinghotline@gmail.com. Or if you want to jump on a Monday call and ask questions live, then you can do that. I'm also hosting on Google Plus now. I'm trying that out, doing a Google Hangout at the same time that I do the phone call. So I'll see how that works out. I'm just trying to make it easily accessible for everyone out there. So what else? What other questions do you have about your website? Oh yeah. Oh, are you a photographer as well? Oh, okay, great. Well, if you don't know my story, I'm actually a photographer as well, and I'm out here in Las Vegas. And I basically started like you. I had my day job, and then I became a full-time photographer. Um, and now I do a lot of things. I do, marketing, coaching. I do websites, all kinds of stuff. So you can definitely do it. You just have to work hard, and eventually you'll get there. Yeah. What kind of photography do you want to do? Okay. Sure. So you have a more contemporary style? Sure, sure. Well, I can give you a couple suggestions if you'd like. Okay, great. And what's your name, by the way? Adrian? Okay, great. Yeah, a little. Okay, great. Well, I don't remember them because I get a lot of emails, but yeah. But yeah, I'd be glad to give you some advice. First and foremost, I would say um, try and market and do what you love. So if you love doing weddings, then by all means market it like crazy and do weddings. I love doing headshots for business people, for actors, for models, those types of, and even for Facebook, people need good pictures for their Facebook profile or for their dating profile. So that's my favorite kind of photography. So if you get on Google and you do a search for Las Vegas headshot photographer, I pretty much come up number one, number three, number five. I've got a lot of websites, and I keyword them all with Las Vegas headshot photographer. So you're gonna find me regardless of what you do. Sure. You'd prefer to do headshots? Yeah. Well, here's my thinking on headshots is I can create a whole bunch of great photos for you in a matter of an hour, right? Um, you're gonna love most of them. There'll be a couple with your eyes closed or whatever, but for the most part, you're gonna love them all. And it's not a huge price point. It's anywhere from 150 to $250, which most people that are looking for a headshot, that's kind of the price range that they're in. And the satisfaction that I get out of doing headshots is way up here at a 9 or a 10. And then the satisfaction that they get from the headshot is pretty high as well. So, from an overall standpoint of everybody being happy and loving the photos, I find that headshots is the best type of photography to do, unless you're doing kid photography, because what parent is not going to love a picture of their kids, right? So, yeah, kids are tricky. I mean, you got to love doing photography for kids, but I don't really do kid photography. Maybe if I had kids, I would do more of it, but I don't, so I never got into it. Yeah, and and it came out of the fact that they would go to a photographer, and the photographer was a guy and he would charge a lot of money, and they basically said, well, I can do what he's doing. So they went out and bought a camera, and there's been a lot more women coming into the industry over the past, say, 10 years than there used to be, and they've basically gravitated towards the maternity, the child photography, and the boudoir, the sexy type pictures. And those are good fields for women because, kids feel more comfortable maybe with a woman. Certainly if a woman's getting, half undressed, she's going to feel more comfortable with a woman. So I've kind of gravitated myself towards headshot photography, and that's what I market. I don't really market anything else. I just market headshot photography. Have you looked at my have you looked at my websites? Yeah, if you look at my portfolio, I have all different kinds of work. But if you look at my very specific marketing website for headshots, then you'll see that's what I market. So, just when you have a chance, go to Google and type Las Vegas headshot photographer, and then you'll see where I come up. I mean, I come up a lot. So you got to pick your keywords, and you got to market to those keywords. So if you really want to do weddings, then you got to build websites that market yourself towards weddings. Okay. But if you don't want to do them, don't do it. Just build a new website about headshots and market headshots. Sure, sure. And I get a lot of that kind of work as well. I get calls to do commercial photography. I get calls to do wedding photography. I get calls to do, child photography. And some of it I take, some of it I don't. And the thing is though, is I market myself as a headshot photographer, and I get other kinds of work as well, because people see the headshots and they see really good ones, and they just think, oh, well, you must be able to take these pictures too. They think I can photograph anything, which I can. um, yeah, yeah. So if you look at my portfolio, you'll see a lot of different kind of work, but if you look at my headshot website, then you'll see just headshots. Okay, now the big thing that I'm marketing now is video. Okay, it's no longer all about stills. It's about moving pictures. It's about video. And business people, business owners need to be using video to market themselves. Yeah, well, like we can use videos to market ourselves, but what I'm talking about is video is a great tool for any business owner to have. Like, say it's a auto mechanic shop. Okay, you could go into an auto mechanic shop and do a bunch of videos for them, as well as a bunch of stills, because the camera that you own does video too, right? So we can create videos for business owners. So we have another product to sell besides still images. Yeah, if you look at Ace Photo and Video, that's my new brand that I developed about a year ago. And when I saw the industry moving to a video, model, I went ahead and changed the name of my brand from Wayne Wallace Photography to Ace Photo and Video. And I'm marketing video now to my clients. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend that. That's the way things are going. Yeah, and yeah, sure, I'd be glad to look at it. Yeah. Yeah, just email me. And then also too, I can send you some links of webinars that I've done for WordPress. So if you want to learn more about WordPress, yeah, sure. Oh, I see. Sure, sure. Um, if you go to there's another website that I have. If you go to waynewallacephotography.com, that's a new website that I just put together. Um, my old website was based on something like WordPress, but it wasn't WordPress, and it would have taken way too much work to redesign it as a movable, I mean, as a mobile friendly website. So what I did was I went out and found an open source technology, and it's based on PHP, and it's called Koken. And you may want to take a look at Koken because it's mobile friendly. It's all PHP and database driven. You can upload photos. You can manage your photos. You can create slideshows. You can create a blog. So there's lots of features built into that website right off the bat. It's a platform. It's a technology. So you wouldn't be using WordPress. You'd be using Koken. Oh yeah, for your hosting. Yeah, you can use whatever host, like if you use HostGator or whatever, you can use, as long as that host supports PHP and MySQL databases, then you'll be fine. Okay. Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah. If you haven't been to my website in 3 months, then yeah, they're all new. Yeah. Yeah, so roam around, look at my websites. I've got WordPress websites. I've got, the Koken website. I've got other website which I developed myself on my computer and then uploaded. Do you use a Mac or a PC? Okay. If you use a Mac, there's a really good piece of software I recommend. It's called Rapid Weaver. Okay. It's spelled RAPID, Weaver, WEAVER. And it's a really good website for developing simple HTML websites. So if you go to Las Vegas headshotphotographer.com, that website is based on Rapid Weaver. And it's mobile friendly. It's simple. It's elegant. So go ahead. No, yeah, if it's in the organic search, then anyone can get there. Okay. You just have to do the right stuff in your website to get there. And it's really not that difficult. It's basically you got to focus on a specific topic like headshots or weddings or baby photos or high school senior photos or whatever. And you want to pick a topic and you want to focus on it, and you want to have all the content geared towards that one topic. And when you do that, then Google is going to see that website and say, oh, well, he's talking about, baby portraits. And, there's a lot of people visiting this website. And pretty soon you gain authority with Google as a respected authority on that topic. And that's what you want to happen. You want to become an authority on that topic. So just like my marketing hotline, the thing that you called into today, right? It's got its own website. It's got its own Google page. I'm not mixing it up with my photography business because I want it to be standalone and I want it to be findable just as a marketing website. Yeah. So you yeah, no, you got to do a lot of things that all kind of point to the fact that you're the specialist in this specific subject, whatever it is. It could be like you like old VW buses, and that's all you do is you restore VW buses. You talk about VW buses. You show videos of VW buses, and before you know it, you're number one on Google for VW buses, right? So like pick some topic that you like maybe you like to cook, right? And what do you do when you want to learn a recipe? You go to Google and you type in, how do I cook spaghetti, right? Or you go to YouTube and you type, how do I cook spaghetti? And you're going to get websites that specialize in, giving you recipes, right, of how to cook. So that's how you need to think about your own business and how you want to market it. Yeah, one main keyword, because if you take Vegas, for example, there's a lot of photographers in Las Vegas, right? Some are like you, they have their day job and they just do it part-time. Some are full-time like me and they do it all the time. But if every photographer is trying to capitalize on the keyword Las Vegas photographer, then somebody's not going to get it, you know? Um, so why do you want to compete for that label or that keyword when you can compete for another one that's easier to get? Like Las Vegas headshot photographer, or Las Vegas, baby portrait photographer, or, commercial photographer. There's lots of different keywords that you can use and, maybe be found, differently. Yeah, well, most likely you're going to come up as a wedding photographer because you mentioned, wedding. But you need to mention it a lot. You need to mention it in the title. You need to mention it in your blog post. You need to mention it in your catalog of pictures, your galleries. You need to talk about how you love to do wedding photography, on your page. Um, and if you do all that, then you're going to be seen as an authority on wedding photography. But it's free, you know, and that's the good part, is it's all free. Um, and I've run plenty of ads on Google and Facebook, and you know, if you have a plan, then you can do very well with an ad. But I've seen a lot of people waste a lot of money on ads because they're not focusing and they're not targeting that ad to a specific thing. Oh yeah, yeah. I get calls like that every day. People want to, they want me to pay them money to get to the top of Google. I'm like, no thanks. you know. But that being said, you can run ads on Google and on Facebook and on Yelp or wherever. And as long as you do it right, then they can be very productive and you can get a lot of business from them. But don't start with that. Start with just building up your website. Make it focused about a topic. You can always have a portfolio site that's linked, like I do. I have a portfolio site that I link to, and you can go see all my pictures. But on that one website where I talk about headshots, that's all I show is headshots. Yeah, you got to have multiple websites. If you don't have multiple websites, then you know you're not going to be found as well as if you have many websites that maybe focus on different topics. Yeah, yeah, and most likely, if you just got like the starter package where it supports one or two websites, then it's a real easy upgrade to support more websites. So I think I have somewhere in the neighborhood of like 50 websites, and they're not all designed, they're not all up and running, but I have, at least 50 different domain names. And at some point, I may do something with them. Oh, yeah, it takes a lot of time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you get so much space and room that, it won't affect that. But what you do need to be concerned about is the load time of your website. Okay. If your load time is more than 3 seconds, then Google's not going to like that. Yeah. Yeah. Send me an email for sure. Yeah. Well, this is a conference call that you dialed into. It's just like a free conference call number. And I do this to make it easy. So if you're just out and about and you got your phone with you, then you can dial the phone number. I'm going to try the Hangout thing and see how many people like doing that. Um, and I may or may not continue doing the Hangout thing. I'm just going to try it out and see how it works. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm pretty good. I usually just kind of bring up some topic to get things started, and then there's usually questions that people have. So yeah, the main thing I was trying to address with people on the call, which you're the only one on the call, but that's fine. Um, is the fact that if you're not mobile friendly, then you're not going to be found on a mobile device as of tomorrow. Okay. And I can tell you that at least 60+% of my traffic is mobile. So when I look at my statistics, and it shows where people or what device people were on when they were visiting my website, the majority of it is mobile. And when people call me on the telephone and they start asking me questions, I say, how did you find me? And they say, oh, I'm just on my phone, and I looked you up. So that's going to become more and more the trend in the future. And, if you're not mobile ready, then you're not going to be found. It's as simple as that. Yeah, every host is a little bit different. Um, you may want to install something like Google Analytics if you haven't already. Yeah, I've got some webinars on that as well I can send you. Basically, Google gives you the software. It's free. You just take a little bit of code and you stick it in your website, and then Google tracks all the visitors that come to your website and where they came from and what kind of device they have. and what browser they're using. So you can look at your statistics and you can see exactly, the lay of the land and what people are using. Is it important to what? To know them or to use them? Oh, you mean like if you want to look at keywords and use them? Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I can explain that to you. Okay, so Google AdSense is where you put ads on your website and then people click on them and you make a commission. Okay, that's Google AdSense. All right. Google AdWords is where you go in and you set up your own ads and then you publish them out onto the ad network and then they appear on other people's websites. Okay. So if you want to run ads, you go to Google AdWords. And if you want to publish other people's ads, you go to Google AdSense. Yeah, well, like say your website is all about baby photography, then you could put Google AdSense ads on your website that are about babies, right? So if a mom is there shopping and or looking at your website, and then over on the corner she sees, this cute little baby outfit, she can click on it, and then she's taken to that vendor's website where they're selling clothes. But I would actually suggest not doing that, because what you're doing is you're driving that person that's a potential client of yours away from your website to go visit someone else's website, right? Yeah. So sometimes you want to lead people to a different website, sometimes you don't. And in a case where you're trying to sell your own photography, I wouldn't put anyone else's ad on the website. All right. Well, we've got a couple more minutes left. If you have any other questions you'd like to ask, I will let you know that we also do a webinar once a month. So if you haven't registered yet, you can go to mymarketinghotline.com and register for the next webinar. That's usually where I do a little more in-depth, uh, deep dive on a certain subject. It could be email marketing. It could be, doing something with WordPress. It could be doing something with Google Analytics. And once you register, you get the behind the scenes webinars that I've done in the past. So if you haven't registered yet, go register, and then you'll get links to the other webinars. And then if you have already registered, then you should already have that link. But if you don't, I can send it to you. Yeah, a webinar is basically, it can be live or recorded. I do mine live, and that way I can take questions and I can show you stuff on my screen and show you how to do something, on your own computer. So it's basically a video, but it's a live video. And if you can't make it, I do record it, so you can always watch it later. Yeah, you're on the East Coast, so you're 3 hours ahead. Yeah. So it's yeah, yeah. It's late for you. Good, good. Well, I appreciate you calling in today, and send me that email so I can take a look at your stuff. And I hope to see you on future calls and webinars. Oh, good. That's how it works. Yeah, well, a lot of it's automated. They do all this stuff automatically, but then they may have a person that sits down and looks at the results. Well, I know they do. They have people that look at the results, and they may change their algorithm, you know, and they may say, oh, well, if a website has this and this and this, then put it in this category, you know. Yeah, most likely that's not Google calling you. No. Yeah. Anytime somebody calls you and says, I'm working with Google, or, we're going to get you a better, placement in Google, that's a lie. I mean, Google will not call you. They may send you an email if you're registered with like Google Webmasters and you've got your website registered. They'll send you an official email through that channel that says, hey, your website's broken or whatever. But they're not just going to pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, how you doing? You still working? Yeah, they'll never do that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can do it. It's easy. Yeah. No, you don't need to pay to be on Google Maps. You just have to do the steps to get in it. Yeah. Which isn't that hard. You just basically fill out your information. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and end the call here. It's almost 5 o'clock, and look forward to seeing your email and seeing you on a future call. All right. Thank you. Have a great week. Okay. Bye-bye.